In the meantime, for the folks who help bring you health care, dropping a lot of their folks' health care. One of the largest union-run health insurance funds dropping coverage for the kids of more than 30,000 low-wage home attendants. The union blaming financial problems within New York State's health department, and get this, also new requirements in the health care law. The United Healthcare Workers East is an affiliate of the Service Employees International Union. Now, the same SEIU that pushed very hard to get the federal health care overhaul made law, and its members exempt from paying so-called Cadillac plan taxes to pay for that law. To John Barrasso, you know him, right? He's a doctor, but more important, he's a Republican senator from Wyoming who saw this day coming. In fact, he predicted it on this very show. So, Senator, so much to talk about, but here's a union now claiming this thing's killing us. What do you make of that?
Well, it is interesting, isn't it? And this is the same health care law that the president, with Barbara Walters, said he was extraordinarily proud of this health care law. I think the president ought to be embarrassed about what's happened here. This is a law that is bad for patients, it's bad for the providers, the nurses and doctors who take care of them, and bad for the taxpayers. And even the union have now said we're not going to cover 6,000 children in their plan. And you know, Neil, it's because of the law, because it says you have to provide insurance for people up to the age of 26. Now, the president has proposed that as one of the big advantages of it. The union says it's impossible financially to provide that. And the other interesting thing is Kathleen Sebelius wrote a letter to every incoming medical student in the country praising this health care law, saying it's good for patients, which it's not, saying it's good for them as medical students, which it is not. And she said one of the big advantages is that you as medical students who are under age 26, you'll be able to stay on your parents' plan. Well, not if you get it through this union, Neil.
Which is why my daughter, I love her dearly, just keeps sticking around, Senator. But I'm wondering now, you mentioned Kathleen Sebelius, Health and Human Services Secretary, where this is going, because they keep getting these gotcha surprise moments. It was one thing when McDonald's was threatening to yank its coverage for its hourly workers and got a special exemption. And then others were saying, hey, whatever you did for Mickey D's, you better do for me. So they did. And now we're getting those corporations, not exactly friendly to health care, saying this is going to cost us, health insurance companies raising their premiums, all spelled out and clearly warned about in the health care law. Now friends of the health care law, those who championed it, are saying, hey, we're bit by the same bug. Where's this going?
Well, a lot of those friends of the law, if you have friends in high places in the Obama administration, you call and you ask for a waiver. And a number of unions have also gotten waivers from part of the law.
But you can't give them all waivers, right? I mean, then you're essentially repealing what has been written in stone, right?
You got it. I would love to give every American a waiver from this health care law. That's why I think we need to repeal it and replace it. That's something that's good for the American public. I think the states ought to be able to opt out. I'm encouraged by the progress I see making into the court system to say you can't force people to buy a product, and I'm going to continue to work every day to take this health care law apart so that the American people don't have to live under this.
I'm sorry, Senator, but what if Democrats are ironically the ones doing Republicans' dirty work? And they're the ones leading the charge today to remove that so-called 1099 provision where businesses who have $600 in benefits to workers have to write a 1099 for each. They're leading the push to exempt that and some other onerous provisions that might save you guys the trouble.
Well, Nancy Pelosi said you don't know what's in first you have to pass it before you get to find out what's in it. This 1099 thing, that's in there because they want to be able to say they've raised $17 billion in uncollected taxes. There are going to be two votes this evening, one on Senator Johan's amendment and then the other by Senator Baucus. Senator Johan's amendment just says, look, you got to not count that money. But Senator Baucus says, oh, no, just put it onto the national debt. And I don't think we ought to put anything more onto the national debt. So there's going to be a debate tonight. And you know, Neil, either way, they need to get 67 votes. It's a very high threshold.
Indeed. Senator, Doctor, always a pleasure. Thank you, sir.
Hey, thank you very much.